Hello everyone and welcome back to Neptune's Child Tarot. My name is Monique and this is my second tarot channel here on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for 10,000 subscribers. I could not be more grateful to each and every one of you. I am filled with gratitude for your love and continued support here on the channel. And those of you that have come over from my main tarot channel, Moon Moth Goddess, thank you guys so much for your support. For those of you that are sharing my content, I've been getting a lot of emails recently from clients who are booking readings with me, letting me know that they heard from their coworkers and they heard from their neighbors and just like all these random places that you guys are letting other people know about my content here on YouTube. And I'm so grateful for you spreading the love, spreading the word, and feeling that these readings may be helpful to, your friends, your neighbors, your family members. I have people that send me and say, hey, my mom told me about you, or my daughter told me about you, or there's this girl at work that told me to watch your videos. So I'm so grateful to you guys for doing that. Thank you guys so much. So 10,000 subscribers, amazing. I love you guys. I love you guys. I'm so grateful. Okay, so today's pick a card reading, we are looking into what your spirit guides are currently helping you with, okay? So it could be, for some of you, it could be a difficult time that your spirit guides are trying to help you with. It could be maybe some type of wish or dream that you have, something that you're trying to manifest. So we're just going to kind of leave it open to see whatever comes through. If you do feel called to more than one pile for this reading, that is perfectly okay. You may have messages across the piles or maybe even just one today. We are going to be putting the piles together on camera, shuffling through all of the decks to put the piles together. But some of you can choose just based off of the crystals. So we have pile 1, 2, and 3 from left to right. I am going to be adding in one of these cards right now to add in some artwork for you to help to choose. Those of you that can't choose just from crystals alone, but you like to choose from artwork. So we will have that. I will also have timestamps down below for you guys that have the pile already put together with your crystal. It'll be called pile selection. So you can click on that timestamp and you can see what your pile looks like all put together with your crystal. And then you can jump into your reading, or those of you, like I said, that already feel which one it is, you can jump ahead, whatever works best for you. So let's see, starting with pile 1's card with a little blue crystal here, which is actually a little blue dyed quartz. So let's see, pile 1, what are your spirit guides currently assisting you with, currently helping you with? Okay, so we have weaving flowers, and I will give you guys a closer look at your crystal and your card and as soon as we get these out here. So let's see, pile 2, and this is with a little marine agate, a little cloudy white colored crystal. Pile 2, what are your spirit guides currently assisting you with? We have bloom is for pile 2, and then pile 3, we have a sunstone for you. What are your spirit guides currently assisting you with? Okay, so we have new directions, and that is for pile 3. So let's take a closer look. Pile 1, we have weaving flowers and this little blue crystal here. Pile 1, what are your spirit guides currently helping you with, assisting you with? Pile number 2, we have the card bloom, and that is with this little marine agate little crystal. That is for pile 2. And then pile number 3, we have this little card here, new directions, and that is with this sunstone crystal for pile number 3. So as I said, we're going to be putting the piles together. Those of you that like to watch that process, it'll follow this intro here. But like I said, you can go to the timestamp pile selection to see what your pile looks like all put together. Or you can use the timestamp that will go directly into your reading. Okay, so pile 1 with weaving flowers and the blue dyed quartz, pile number 2 with bloom and the marine agate, and then pile number 3 with the new directions and the sunstone. Timestamps will be down below, and I will see you guys at your reading. Okay, so let's put these piles together. We are going to be using 2 different tarot decks today. So this first one here, we're going to be drawing 3 cards. And then from the second one, we will be pulling 2 cards. So let's start here. What are your spirit guides currently helping you with? What are your spirit guides currently helping you with? Okay, so that is for pile 1. Now we'll do pile 2. What are your spirit guides currently helping you with? And then one more for pile 2. And then pile 3 with new directions. What are your spirit guides currently helping you with? And I always forget the name of that. What is it? Dandelion, right? Dandelion. Okay, let's see. Pile 3. What are your spirit guides currently helping you with? Okay, so that is the first deck, and we're going to go into this one here. And with the tarot decks that I am using today, some of them do have sensitive imagery, so I will have to be checking the cards just to make sure there isn't any artwork that I need to cover up here for YouTube. But let's see, pile 1. What are your spirit guides currently helping you with? Okay. Let's do pile 2. And then pile number 3. Okay, so our tarot is all set. Now let's go into our oracle cards. So what are your spirit guides currently helping you with? That is for pile 2. And pile 3. And I will have all of the decks listed down below for you guys. What are your spirit guides currently helping you with? And then pile number 3. Okay. And then we're going to do, let's actually do these ones. What are your spirit guides currently helping you with? For pile 2, what are your spirit guides currently helping you with? And then pile number 3. Okay, and now we're going to pull one of these animal cards. What are your spirit guides currently helping you with? That is for pile 1. That is pile 2. And then pile 3. What are your spirit guides currently helping you with? Okay. So the other oracle decks, I have 2 more. We're going to actually pull those ones on camera as we do each pile, but I'm going to move this under here. And we'll put this on top here. And that will be pile 1's. That will be for pile 2. And then pile 3's. With the crystal. Okay. Okay, so we have our piles all put together for you guys if you like to choose this way. So we do have pile 1 with the weaving flowers and the little blue crystal here. Pile number 2 with the bloom card and the marine agate. And then pile number 3 with the new directions card with the sunstone. Timestamps will be down below. Pause the video if you need a little bit more time to meditate on which pile is calling to you the most, and I will see you guys at your reading. Hello, pile number 1. So those of you that resonated with the weaving flowers card here, this is going to be part of your reading, but we're going to take a look at the other cards that you have. I'm going to put your crystal over here. So let's get all of these cards out first, and we're going to take a look at everything together with our pick a card today. What are your spirit guides currently helping you with, assisting you with? So we have the Ace of Wands. We have the Hermit. Ace of Wands and the Hermit. We have the King of Cups. We have the Eight of Cups. And then we have the Eight of Wands. Okay. And so let's look at your oracle. We have Balance. We have the Chipmunk. We have She Who Changes, Iris, Transformation, Change, and also Enchantment. And then we have Tend the Fragile. Tend the Fragile. Okay. And then you have Weaving Flowers for your other message here. Okay, so starting off with your message here. Let me just take a second to think about that. We've got the Eight of Cups. We've got the Hermit. The Ace of Wands. The Eight of Wands. And then the King of Cups is kind of how I'm reading this. Kind of like a little zigzagged. Okay, so the major arcana that we have here is the Hermit. Okay, so the major arcana within the tarot are talking about major like stages of things that we're kind of going through. And so in that Hermit energy, this is where we take some time for solitude, reflection, introspection. This is the energy in which we take time to deep dive into the self. And this could be a place where we're healing. For some of you, that Hermit energy can talk about depression or even some darker things from your past that you are still healing from. Okay? Because I'm also noticing you have 10 the fragile here. So it makes me feel that there are still some certain things that you're still healing from. Okay? So what your spirit guides are currently assisting you with is getting you to that place where you let go of things, people, situations, jobs, and kind of encouraging you in a way to set out on a journey of discovering the self and to do all of this healing through that hermit energy. Okay? I'm noticing a little bit of symbolism here that I'm going to talk about, but the Eight of Cups energy leads into the energy of the Hermit, because essentially the Eight of Cups is that we are letting go of vices, of, anything that is not in alignment for us. It is when we are no longer feeling emotionally fulfilled by, let's just say, a job, a relationship, a way of thinking, self-limiting beliefs. And it is encouraging us to set out on that journey. And so from that Eight of Cups, we have the 8, and then we go into the 9s within the tarot, which is the major arcana is the Hermit, right? So we're letting go here. We're walking away from things that are no longer, say, making us happy, no longer making us feel fulfilled. And then we go into the Hermit energy where we start to explore, right? Explore within the self. And I'm noticing that there is this angel that's here. And actually, it's not an angel. It kind of looked like an angel to me that was kind of crouched down with the wings out. But now that I look at it, it almost looks like it's a goose or something. Like that might be a goose's head. But when I originally looked at it, it looked like an angel that was kind of crouching down, bent over. So that's kind of what that looked like to me. But now I'm seeing this little head right here. So maybe this is a little goose or something that looks like it's ready to take flight. Okay, like it's floating away from these cups that have all of this smoke that's there that's clearing. There also looks like there is this building here, that a structure that looks like it's fallen apart or fallen down, right? So to me, this is in a way symbolic of you letting go of things, maybe even illusions for some of you, letting go of illusions, walking away from those illusions. And so I'm also seeing this symbolism here with this hermit who is holding a lantern and also an umbrella. Okay. So, and there's also umbrellas over here that she's got. But what I'm seeing in this message is that your spirit guides are helping you to kind of encourage you in a way to discover who you are at your core, and to take that time of rest, of reflection, of meditation in discovering who you are without all of the things that may have, let's just say, shaped you, right? Traumas that you've gone through, certain experiences that you've had, which can sometimes change, right? The person that we are. It can also be certain beliefs that we grow up with, certain belief systems, that we can hold on to. And sometimes we get to that point in life where those belief systems are no longer helping us. They're hindering us. They're blocking us. They're holding us back. So it is through that hermit energy that we start to peel back the onion layers, in a sense of getting rid of the things that are not really us, and about us, truly discovering who we are, like I said, at our core. And so for some of you, this can be a process of very deep healing, inner child healing, or, discovering what our soul's purpose is, thinking about what our passions truly are. It's where we discover our authentic self. Okay. So then through that, I'm seeing this emergence here, in a way that through that process, you with the King of Cups energy here, and if you notice in this card, her body or her little dress here is this huge structure of this mountain. And she's standing here in this ocean, and there is now, instead of it being kind of like a blockage here where there is this huge mountain there, there is now this space where this ship can now pass through. And the King of Cups is an energy of compassion and groundedness, stability in terms of feelings, emotions. It's a symbol of emotional maturity. It's also a place where we are tapped into our feelings and we have better control over them. You know, we're no longer in a place where we're allowing our emotions to say control us and our ideas and our decisions, but more or less that when we are facing anything that could be creating challenges for us, that we can easily transition past those things. And so I'm seeing this here as this change that's happening within you, where you are allowing certain feelings and emotions, or even any blocks in creativity, because the King of Cups is also our intuition and our creative energy. And so this is you essentially learning how to master your feelings, your emotions, your intuition, your creative energy, and to learn how to create, you know, a place for you where you can allow certain things to pass through and be better able to handle certain things there. And so I'm seeing this kind of in a way that your spirit guides are helping you to remove any blockages that are here, right? So that these little ships here, in a sense, I see these little ships as, you know, certain things you've gone through in your past that have kept blockages there. But now that you're better able to, with the mindset, the level-headedness, the calmness, the groundedness that you have in your own feelings and your emotions, you're allowing these things to kind of come up for you, honor the feelings and the emotions, and allowing them to pass through versus holding on to them and suppressing them and, you know, having them create blockages for you in terms of your intuition and your creative energy. So there's more or less this passage that's happening here, and looking at all these little birds, how they're circling around here, to me those are also kind of like those symbols of your spirit guides that are trying to help you through this process. And also I'm seeing here, she's got another little ship that she's kind of cradled in her arm here. So to me, it's kind of like you becoming the master of your own ship, right? You're the master here of your feelings, of your emotions, of your intuition, and allowing that to be something that you lead with. Some of you have this natural gifted ability of being able to heal or even heal others. The King of Cups is a very heart-centered, beautiful energy. And so many of you have very strong intuitive gifts, very strong creative energy. And I'm seeing that through this King of Cups, as you changing into this place here, that out comes this Ace of Wands. And the Ace of Wands is a spark of creative energy, a spark of passion, an idea that has potential. And if you look at it here, her little wand is coming out of this book and has bloomed into this beautiful flower. So it's showing you here that through this process of you kind of removing yourself away from situations or people or jobs or ways of thinking, and you take that time to go into that hermit energy to discover who you truly are, and you do your healing work, right? You do your shadow work, you do your healing, your inner child healing, and you essentially become the master of your own energy here with that. And then through that, you know, having all of this creative energy here, in comes this inspiration with the Ace of Wands, ideas, things that you want to create. And then you have the Eight of Wands here, and the Eight of Wands to me is about you taking action. And she's got all of these wands that are here and these umbrellas that she's kind of floating in the air with. And the Eight of Wands is symbolic of energy that's in motion. You know, things that we're putting our energy towards. And so I'm seeing it as that your spirit guides are trying to help you through this process, right, of your healing, of dealing with your feelings and your emotions, honoring them, and being able to kind of transmute that energy in a sense into creative energy. And maybe for some of you, I'm noticing how she's also holding a book here. Maybe some of you feel called to write or to share your story or to even serve as a guide to others, because we do have the Hermit here. And the Hermit is essentially a place where we are, through our darkness, we are finding our light, finding the light within ourselves. And that could even be for those of you that feel called to use your gifts to help others. You could, be someone, if that's what you choose and you feel called to do, but you could be that someone who serves as a guide even to others, right? To tap into their true self here. And so to me, it's like she's allowing these ideas and this inspiration to take flight, right? With ideas to put energy towards something that you wish to create here. So that's kind of what I'm seeing with your tarot here. And then, yes, with the 10, the fragile here, it's, if you look at this little, I don't know what this is. Is this a hedgehog? Or porcupine? Hedgehog. I don't know. But looking at how it's in this little hole that's here, and then there's a little butterfly here. So I'm imagining this little animal kind of going under the ground in a way, taking some time, hibernation, resting. And that's kind of symbolic of the Hermit energy, where you kind of go into Hermit mode and really take that time to explore, to discover, to heal, to ground, and to really, like I said, not allow those feelings and emotions to kind of block you in any way. So you're tending to yourself, right? You're taking care of, nurturing the self, which is also in here as well with the King of Cups. We are learning how to love the self, nurture the self, and tending to any of those wounds, I feel like, with the 10, the fragile here. And then the number 27 also reduces to a 9, which is the Hermit energy there as well. Okay, so it's kind of like your spirit guides are trying to help you with your personal transformation. And then we have that here too. She who changes. Transformation, change, and also enchantment. Okay, we have balance here, which is the number 6. And so the number 6 is the Lovers card in the tarot. And the Lovers is also a balance of both the feminine and the masculine. And it is also a card that really helps us to choose and make decisions and choices within life by following our heart. Okay, following our heart. And so I'm seeing as how your spirit guides are trying to help you with finding maybe, say, more balance within yourself. And the King of Cups is that symbol of balanced emotions, right? Being able to kind of control them and, like I said, not have them control you in a sense, but more you are in control. You remain grounded, you remain calm. So even when you go through things that could be particularly challenging, that you no longer revert back into, the old ways of thinking and handling, right, of feelings and emotions. And of course, we're not perfect. We are human. We have an ego. And so sometimes, no matter how much healing we do, how much growth we actually have, we can have those days where we go back into, right, that way of thinking. But the important thing is recognizing when we're doing that, when we're going back into those old habits, and being mindful to really kind of correct ourselves to say, hey, that no longer works here. And we need to kind of stay on track with our feelings and our emotions here. And then I'm also seeing that you have the chipmunk here. And so the chipmunk is an animal that, is very playful. If you've ever seen little chipmunks, how they play with each other, chase each other, they play games and things like that, kind of like running in and out of the holes in the trees and ups and down the branches and things like that. So they have a lot of fun with each other. And so I'm also seeing that your spirit guides are, in a sense, helping you to find yourself, right? Your authentic self. But it's also about helping you to tap back into your childlike nature and to go back into that place of joy and excitement and wonderment and magic, and being able to kind of create that, looking at how she is here, she's kind of looking like she's reading this book and she's staring off and daydreaming, right? And let's just say that she's imagined she's reading a story about a garden or flowers, and just right before her eyes, there is this huge flower that's kind of come out of this book, right? So it's kind of like in that moment, she's imagining something here. Okay, she's creating and imagining with that Ace of Wands. And so that's kind of the energy that your spirit guides are trying to help you with this chipmunk, is for you to kind of get back into that place in your heart and in your imagination, your creative energy, with the Ace of Wands and Eight of Wands. And so helping you to kind of restore that energy. And if that means that we're healing inner childhood wounds, and in order to reconnect back into the inner child, that's what we're doing. We're tending the fragile. Some of you may have a wounded inner child that needs attention, right? That needs love, that needs nurturing, that needs support. And so you're able to kind of allow and release those feelings and emotions to kind of pass through there. The chipmunk is also a symbol of you being able to prepare, as we know that chipmunks are also an animal that hibernates in the winter. And so there is preparation, right, all year long of storing their little nuts for the winter. And so this is helping you in a sense to build, right? You're building something, you're preparing for something beautiful and amazing for yourself, for your life. And so I'm seeing how your spirit guides are helping you with that there as well. And then you also have weaving flowers here. And so with the weaving flowers, this is about creative energy. This is about you integrating all of the things that you've learned and that you've known and you've been feeling inspired by. So I'm going to read the message with this card. This is actually from the Oracle of Mystical Moments. And it says, Creator, Art of the Universe, Integration. And it says, here we see a woman gathering the delicate petals of blossoms and making them into flowers. It seems like she is weaving them together, bringing a greater whole into being. She is calm and concentrated on her work. This woman is a creator. She draws from the petals falling from the sky and growing from earth. Inspiration is all around. Gather it up to create a new whole. Okay? So in a way, with her weaving here, I'm also seeing this as symbolism of you weaving and putting together of the new self, your most authentic self, you being able to kind of move through this transformative energy that is taking place within you. So essentially you are becoming, right, the King of Cups, the Hermit energy, where you have taken that time to really explore very deeply within the self, right? Reconnecting to the inner child, tapping into that creative energy, tapping into the intuition. And I'm also noticing that she's got this moon that is right over her third eye, which is also, to me, that symbolism of the intuition, which is truly beautiful. I'm also seeing how this woman here, she's got this flower that's blossomed on the top of her, covering her third eye and her crown chakra. So to me, this is symbolic in a way of this higher consciousness, this evolution that's happening for you, okay? Changes happening within the third eye, the intuition, all tapped into that King of Cups energy. So it's a very beautiful energy here that your spirit guides are helping you with, right? And making sure with Tend the Fragile that for some of you, there could still be things, right, that you're still healing from. And it's kind of like your spirit guides are trying to draw your attention to those inner wounds that need your nurturing, that need love, okay? In order for you to be able to heal and create that balance within your own energy. So let's see what else, pile number 1. What are your spirit guides currently helping you with? We have strength. Okay, so helping you maybe to find inner strength, being able to, like I said earlier, master your own energy. Become a master of feelings, emotions, intuition, creative energy. And we have illumination. And that can also be because, of course, doing this inner work is not easy, right? Otherwise, all of us here on earth would be perfectly healed and never have any issues, never have any problems. It's not easy, right? going through darker times, going through and facing certain feelings and emotions that we've buried so deeply. So with the illumination here, to me, this is also your spirit guides giving you the strength to help to illuminate those aspects of the self that need attention, that need healing. To me, it's also illuminating, in a sense, your gifts, right? The creative talents and the abilities that you have to create magic within your life. We also have synchronicity here. And this could be that a way that your spirit guides communicate with you, to start to notice synchronicity in everything around you, not just messages from them, but the way in which they communicate through nature and through your, receiving downloads of information. We have believe. And to me, that is more or less about you starting to believe in yourself, your powers, your energy, your gifts, your talents, your skills. We also have peace. Okay, so finding peace and balance, I feel like, from within the self. Let's see what else. And then we have discernment here. Okay, and so to me, the discernment could come from, the things that you are releasing here, and about how to better be able to notice and recognize when certain things or people or situations are not truly meant for you. And you can be able to recognize when it is time to, with the Eight of Cups energy here, let go, right? Away from things. So let's get some more messages here. Pile 1. And this is going to be our last oracle deck that we're using today. So what are your spirit guides currently assisting you with? Pile number 1. We have disillusionment, okay? It says, disillusioned by the faux spiritual BS, craving for deeper spirituality, and spirit is pushing you to dig deeper, okay? So this is what I would say with this. The best example that I can give you is, and I'm not trying to make fun of anybody, but I'm saying sometimes it's like being spiritual and following spiritual practices and doing the inner work. There are no shortcuts. Okay, we know that there are no shortcuts to the healing, to the inner work that we do. So disillusionment, in a way, thinking that because we light some sage, or because we light, some Palo Santo, or because we pull an oracle card, for ourselves, is far from aligning our lives to spirituality, or to, becoming a better version of self. It's so much deeper than that, right? So I feel like with this energy here, it's like spirit is telling you, don't focus on all of, maybe say, like the superficial stuff about spirituality. This is about you with that Eight of Cups and the Hermit. That is serious, right? That is serious healing. That is serious inner work that we're doing here. Or that you're doing here, pile 1, right? So it's kind of like spirit is saying, don't get caught up in the the things with that are kind of leading you off of your path or distracting you, right? But this is really calling you to really do the real deep spiritual work, right? Dig deeper. And that's exactly what the Hermit energy does. It makes you dig deep within the self. Okay, so that's kind of where, you're not getting caught up in like the little cutesy spiritual stuff, but which is great every once in a while, but this is some serious work that you're doing here. And that's where the change happens, right? Not from just, I'm just going to say, not just from having a crystal, right? It doesn't because I have a crystal that I'm spiritual. It's more than that, right? So much more. There are no skipping lessons and chapters. It's like we do the work, okay? And that's kind of where spirit is getting into. And sometimes, a lot of the new age stuff can be very, kind of woo-woo stuff. But this is like, you want to heal. You want to become a better version of self. We are going back to traditional old ways of doing things, healing, think to your ancestors' practices and things of that nature that really hit home with a lot of this work here. Okay. No easy shortcuts. It's work, right? It is work. Like I said, if it were that easy, we'd all be perfect. We'd all be healed. We'd all, just kind of going through life with no problems and no traumas and things of that nature. Okay. So what are your spirit guides currently helping you with? Okay, so we have life path 3. So some of you could be life path 3, but we've got being creative, sharp-witted, charming, success through creative expression, and being an individual is important. Okay, so to me that says a lot about your spirit guides trying to really help you to tap into your creative energy, and you being able to find maybe success through, right? Some of your creative talents, your creative gifts here. Let's see. What are your spirit guides helping you with? We have true love, and it says experiencing true love in your life, being in a loving long-term union, and also a selfless and unconditional love. Okay. Some of you, of course, may already be in relationships, and hopefully you are, with your true love. But if not, 8 of Cups, right? We learn to recognize, just be discerning. Learn when to recognize when to let go or walk away of something that is not fulfilling us. Okay. And those of you that are single, it could be that your spirit guides are helping you to kind of go through this process so that your energy is in balance for you to align with a loving long-term union with someone, right? Because when we have a lot of these unhealed wounds and traumas and things of that nature, we can also be connecting and attracting, right? Someone in that same energy. And sometimes it's not a great situation, right? We can have people that also have unhealed wounds and, doesn't know how to deal with their own feelings and their emotions, right? So if you're coming in and you're really working on your healing here and coming in as the King of Cups, think of the vibrational energy that you're putting out with that, and how you can, through finding this balance in self, you're able to connect with higher vibrational connections. Okay, so let's see what else. What are your spirit guides helping you with? Finding your true love for some of you that are single. We have seeking answers here, and it says exploring metaphysical and the esoteric fields in search for answers and truth and the beginning of your spiritual search. Okay, so I'm having a feeling some of you may already, of course, be on your spiritual path, on your journey, but this is encouraging you, right, to seek answers, right, to explore, to learn, to discover, to delve into different spiritual practices and find what works for you, what feels right, and to maybe learn different ways of healing, or just really kind of, I feel like, learning a lot, gaining wisdom, knowledge from connecting. Like, let's just say you have an urge to study with a shaman, what their spiritual practices are, or if you have native or indigenous roots, that you speak to the elders about what their practices are, or even, what I'm saying? So it's just kind of like helping you to kind of explore and delve into and just be open to learning, exploring. Let's see what else. Pile number 1. Okay, so we also have between the world and spiritual realm, mastered living between both worlds, and you can resolve conflicts and also offer guidance. Okay, so between the world and the spiritual realm, which means that spirit is trying to help you, your spirit guides are trying to help you to find balance between your spiritual self, right, your spiritual self, and then the 3D world, right? Because we have to remember, we are spiritual beings. Okay, sometimes we can often neglect that because we live so much within the 3D materialistic physical world that we become lost because we forget our spiritual self. We neglect that part of ourself. And so this is helping you to find that balance between both worlds. Okay, both worlds, mastered living between both worlds, and also can resolve conflicts and offer guidance. Back into that hermit energy, serving as a guide, right? You're learning all of these things. Maybe you are someone who's able, like I said, to help others on their path, you know, better able to resolve conflicts, but from a place of love and a place of compassion and understanding with that King of Cups energy, right? So even if someone comes to you with some sideways energy, that you can, you know, choose to respond rather than react, you know, to that person. Okay, so very beautiful energy for you, pile number 1. I do hope that this reading was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Hi, pile 2. So those of you that resonated with the balloon card, this is going to be your reading. So this will be part of your reading today. I'm just going to put your crystal over here. So we're going to start off with your tarot and then look at your oracle cards as well. We have the Page of Wands. We have the Four of Swords. The Queen of Wands. The Nine of Cups. Okay. And then we also have the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, so let's look at your oracle. We have Focus. We have Turkey for your animal card. We have She Who Grants Wishes, Wish, Desires, and Hope. And then we also have Sing Your Own Song. And then we have your Bloom card here. Okay. So our pick a card today is, what are your spirit guides currently assisting you with? What are they helping you with at this time in your life? Okay, so what do we have? We've got the Page of Wands, the Queen of Wands, the Ace of Pentacles, Four of Swords, and the Nine of Cups. Where do I start? Okay, so we're going to start with this Four of Swords energy here. The Four of Swords is a card of rest, meditation, clearing and calming the mind so that we can better focus, and you have focus here, better focus on where you are going to direct your energy. And I'm feeling it is because of, and I'm noticing you have the Nine of Cups here, which is a card of wishes being fulfilled. And you also have She Who Grants Wishes here. It's about wishes being fulfilled. It's also about you being able to achieve things and feel abundant, happy, content, fulfilled. It is also a card of gratitude, of feeling abundant, okay? And then you have the turkey here, which is also a symbol of abundance and gratitude and giving thanks, okay? My stomach is growling. I don't know if you guys can hear that. So the way that I'm kind of seeing this here is that your spirit guides are currently helping you to try to really bring your mind to a state of rest, where you, maybe those of you that like to meditate, that you spend more time in meditation to think about what it is you truly seek. What is it that you truly wish for? What is it that you really want to manifest within your life? And to recognize that the universe is abundant. Okay, with the turkey energy here, this is about letting go of any mentality of lack. And that doesn't just have to be for abundance in terms of money, but love and friendships and family and, you know, feeling happy with career and with your life overall in general. And so the turkey does bring in a beautiful message of us recognizing that the universe is abundant. There are plenty of resources, enough for all of us to be able to benefit from those opportunities that are there. It is also about us being in the energy of gratitude for what we do have, okay? And letting go of that lack mentality. And so I'm seeing that you do have both the Page of Wands energy here and also the Queen of Wands. And I'm feeling is that your spirit guides are trying to assist you with you gaining more confidence within yourself and about you stepping into your power enough to be able to explore with the Page of Wands energy here, exploring your creative energy and following your passions in life and what it is that you desire, what it is that you seek, and then being open with the Ace of Pentacles energy here, which is a solid opportunity. This is an opportunity for abundance, for a new job, for getting a raise, for buying a house, buying a car, making new friendships, whatever this is that you truly seek. We have she who grants wishes, desires, and hope. Okay? So I feel like it's confidence within yourself that you have the power to be able to manifest and create and become a powerful manifester in that Queen of Wands energy. But it first requires you to take some time to really reflect and think, what is it that I really want? What is it that I really desire to have within my life? And then to be able to focus that energy and manifest that in powerful ways for yourself to make these wishes come true, right? To lead you towards what it is that you desire and be able to create that in the physical world. Okay. And then I'm seeing bloom here, which to me is kind of what's happening here, is that you are blooming into your gifts, your talents, your skills, your creative energy, being able to seek, discover, explore, and follow your passions in life. And sometimes we can feel a little scattered, right? We can feel like our ideas that we have are kind of drawing us into so many different directions that we feel like confused. And we don't know, like, do I follow this passion? Do I follow that passion? Sometimes we don't even know what it really is, right? So with the Four of Swords energy, it helps us to give us a pause, take a break, take a rest, go on vacation, or go sit out in your backyard, on your patio, in a quiet space in your home, and just take some time to reflect. What is it that I truly desire, right? Because this is, in a way, is showing you here that you can make this happen, that it is possible to create and manifest your dreams. And it doesn't have to be in a way where you are following what another person is doing, okay? Because you also have sing your own song here, which to me is about you doing things in your way, not because of what that person has or this person does, but more or less that you are doing this in your own way and being able to, in a sense, grant your own wishes and make your own things manifest for yourself in your life. Okay. But most of this I'm seeing kind of like with this Page of Wands energy. If you notice, she's got this huge magnifying glass and she looks like she's prepared for a little bit of a journey of exploring and discovering here. And so that's what the Page of Wands is all about, is not being afraid to start down a new path, not being afraid to follow what your passions are in life, you know, the creative inspiration, and being open to kind of finding and exploring that within yourself. And then we have this Queen of Wands here, which the Queen of Wands is a very powerful energy. It's very charismatic. It's very much, has so much potential. There's a leadership quality here. There is charisma. There is passion. There is desire. There is drive within you with the Queen of Wands energy to really be this unstoppable force that is working towards manifesting the things in your life that do make you feel happy, that do make you feel fulfilled. And then we have these little fish that are kind of floating around here, which the fish to me are also a symbol of prosperity, okay? Abundance, luck. And so we have the Ace of Pentacles here, and the Ace of Pentacles is that opportunity to create, to manifest abundance actually in the physical world, and to be able to create new beginnings and to live and co-create the life that you are truly wanting to, and you feel blessed with, right? So that you are this, feeling this energy of the turkey here, as long as you're able to really focus your intention and get those thoughts aligned, right? Because the turkey, like I said, is about releasing the lack mentality, the lack mindset, and more into this, I know what my goals are, I know what my dreams are, and I am stepping into my power to create that, to manifest that, because I deserve it. Okay, so then we have this message of bloom, which I'm actually going to read what the message says for you. It is out of the Oracle of Mystical Moments. So let's see what that is for number 5. Self-confidence, femininity, and individual fulfillment. Okay, and that's what the 9 of Cups is about. Personal fulfillment. We're not placing our happiness into another person. Like, I need this to make me happy. I need this person to make me happy. It's you finding that fulfillment within yourself and all on your own, right? Not needing something or someone to completely, but you feel happy and fulfilled within inside of yourself. So we have a woman gazes into your eyes with pride and self-confidence. She knows what she wants, and this certainty blooms out of her being like a bountiful garden. Her hair is thick, like the branches of trees, reaching out with controlled abandonment. The power of nature surrounds her, flowing both into her and out from her. What would it be like to feel this connected and confident? What could you accomplish? Your inner strength blossoms into future achievements. Okay? So it's like your spirit guides are trying to help you to gain this confidence, you know, and kind of help you to, I feel like, encourage you to explore, to discover, to see that you manifesting exactly what it is that you want is possible. Okay, that it is possible for you, but just kind of narrowing it down and focusing the intention on what that might be. Okay, so let's see what else. We're going to be pulling some additional oracle cards here. What are your spirit guides currently assisting you with? Pile number 2. We have understanding. Okay, so maybe this is understanding more about yourself, understanding more about your power, learning how to direct your energy, learning how to become a more powerful manifester. We've got strategy here, okay, which is basically figuring things out, right? Being open to finding new ways, new creative ways, and taking some time to really think and direct that energy. We also have strength. Okay, so to me, that's also about you finding your inner power, finding your strength. A lot of that with the Queen of Wands energy is tied into the solar plexus chakra, okay, which is our power. It is our confidence in ourself, belief in the self. We have purpose here, okay? So for many of you, this is that your spirit guides are trying to help you to get comfortable with this flow of abundance and always holding gratitude, okay, within your heart. Even if you feel like right now that you might not have the most abundant life, but you are grateful for what you do have, okay? It puts you in that energy of flow, giving and receiving, but maybe for some of you, finding your purpose, okay? Helping you to align with your purpose or feeling more confident about following what you feel your purpose is in life. Independence, okay? Independence, which means we're not counting on anyone else. We are becoming powerfully independent in that Queen of Wands energy, okay? Enough to create, manifest, especially for future. We have perception here. So that may even be that your spirit guides are trying to help you to change the perspective that you have about yourself, about your power, illuminating certain things for you, right? That you might be needing to kind of let go of, okay? Maybe your perception surrounding abundance or worthiness to abundance. Changing your perception from lack into the abundance mindset. Let's see what else. What are your spirit guides currently assisting you with, helping you with? Pile number 2. Okay, so synchronicity. It says fully aligned to your soul purpose. strategically orchestrated messages, and an event where needs are met. So this can be helping you to pay close attention, okay? Because the aces within the tarot are divinely guided to us, divinely guided opportunities that we have, okay? It is up to us with those opportunities that are there to put forth the energy of creating something bigger out of those opportunities that are there. So it could be that by changing your perception, okay, let's just say that in the turkey energy that we've got the lack mentality, okay? So in that lack mentality, we can look at the world and say, there are no opportunities. There's nothing. There's nothing for me, right? And we stay in that energy of lack. So your spirit guides are trying to help you to change away from that perspective to see the universe is abundant. There is always opportunity surrounding us, but it is about us changing our perspective. So maybe for some of you is paying closer attention to the synchronicity in your life, right? The numbers, the dreams, the messages, the communication sometimes that we overhear in conversations that are exactly what we need to hear, right? Sometimes we can overhear two people talking at a restaurant, or, you know, as we're standing in line, checking out, buying groceries, and there's something that has been puzzling us, and it's kind of like your spirit guides are using those other people to insert messages that are what you need to hear at that time. Okay? So paying attention to synchronicity, paying attention to everything around you, right? The universe is constantly communicating with us and showing us that there are opportunities if only we change that perspective and have enough confidence in ourselves to pursue them, to create magic within your life. So let's see what else, pile number 2. What are your spirit guides helping you with? Perspective shift. Okay, so we have 2 messages about that. So we have a phase of deep questioning, seeing through the lies and delusions, and sometimes those lies and delusions aren't necessarily another person's, they can be our own, right? We can keep ourselves stuck in a delusion. And it says, stop seeing life as you once did, okay? So sometimes because of certain things that we go through, it can completely change our mindset, right? If we go through traumatic things, if we go through painful things, if we go through challenging things, right? It can kick at our self-esteem. It can make us lose our confidence and feel like, you know what? I can't. There is no way I'm going to be able to accomplish this. There's no way that I'm worthy of abundance. I'm not worthy of love. I'm feeling kind of low. Okay? So this could be, you know, let's just say you were really happy and, you know, a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, you were super happy, and then you had this friendship or this family situation or this relationship that you went through that was so awful and challenging that it completely changed your mindset. You know, you became bitter, you became angry, you became resentful, you became fearful, or, you know, abandonment, neglect, being ghosted, feeling betrayed, feeling lied to, and that completely changes our outlook on life. Okay? So it's kind of like your spirit guides are trying to help you to realign to that place of the Queen of Wands, back into a place of confidence and power, and you owning it like a boss, to be able to create and manifest exactly what you wish, okay, within your life. Let's see what else. Pile number 2. What are your spirit guides helping you with? We have your soul's purpose, a soul birthing process, discovering your soul's purpose, and unfolding your unique abilities. Okay, your unique abilities. Some of you, because we do have the Page of Wands and also the Page of Wands and Queen of Wands energy here, both of these are about creative energy. So many of you may have a lot of creative talents and abilities that you're meant to share, that you're meant to lead, that you're meant to motivate, inspire in some way. Okay, so some of you may have a soul's purpose that is tied into that. Okay, maybe some of you literally with the Sing Your Own Song here are meant to be stars, are meant to be in the limelight, are meant to be actresses or singers or musicians or some type of creative. Okay, let's see what else. What are your spirit guides? Maybe it's discovering those hidden talents that you have. Okay, so we have Polarian here, and it says shying away from sudden changes, great team player, not showy, stay in situations for a very long time. So to me, this is also maybe helping you to connect with other people, work with others, maybe get comfortable with stepping outside of the comfort zone. Okay. Being able to recognize when certain situations are no longer a vibrational match for you, and when learning when to move on. But I'm also seeing this as, you know, helping you to get to a place where you can feel stable, where you feel safe, where you feel secure. Okay. What else here? Pile number 2. What are your spirit guides helping you with? What are your spirit guides helping you with? Okay, so we have life path 6. Some of you could be a 6. But we have caring, loving, loyal, understanding, good at motivating others. That's what I was just saying. Strong desire to love and be loved. Okay? So in order for us to feel loved, we have to love ourselves. And sometimes that is hard to do, right? When we've gone through so many difficult things. So, yeah, I'm feeling I'm feeling restoring confidence for many of you. Confidence within yourself, where you feel I'm in my power and I no longer am placing my happiness in another person's hands. Okay? You learning to be just powerful, independent. At the bottom of the deck, I'm seeing karmic bonds. And it says a pre-birth agreement to fulfill uncomfortable and binding relationships, identify them, and break free. Okay? So that may be that your spirit guides are trying to help you to move away from certain karmic situations. Okay? Friendships, family situations, romantic partnerships, and being able to identify where those connections are keeping you stuck, keeping you in a place of lack, or doing things that are hindering your growth, your expansion, taking away from you rather than feeding your soul. Okay? Is what I feel like your spirit guides are helping with here. So I'm going to leave this here for you. Pile number 2. I do hope this was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next reading. Hi, pile 3. So those of you that resonated with the New Directions card, this is going to be your reading. So this one will actually be part of your reading, but we're going to get out your tarot. Now, I did have to cover 2 of the images within the tarot that came out for you because of the restrictions on YouTube. So we have the 9 of Cups. We have the Lovers. We have the Chariot. We have the Queen of Wands. And then we also have the Star. Hopefully that stays on there. Okay. So 9 of Cups, the Star. These are both wish fulfillment cards. Okay. And then you have the Chariot. So you've got 1, 2, 3 major arcana here. Okay. So we have Soothe. We have the Lion. We have Trust Your Wings. Okay, I see where this is going. We have She Who Persists with Perspective, Defiant, and also Persistent. And then you have New Directions here. Okay, so I feel like the main message here, and then we'll kind of break it down, but the main message that I'm seeing here is about basically your spirit guides are trying to help you with you, I feel like, restoring confidence and power within yourself to be able to make changes, move forward in your life, make decisions, and to feel confident about them. Okay, that's basically what I'm seeing here. Breaking this whole thing down is to help you to get out of a place where you could potentially be holding yourself back, because I'm seeing trust your wings here. Trust your wings, which is telling me here that there is some type of perspective shift that is needed because you may not believe in yourself. You may have, because you have the lion here. We'll start with that. You have the lion here, and the lion is a symbol of authority and power and confidence. And you also have the Queen of Wands energy, which also embodies this energy of the lion. Okay. This is a very beautiful, powerful energy. You may have been feeling called to another pile. I will say that because there is a very similar message that came through for one of the other ones. So if you did feel called, watch it. I don't want to tell you which one it is, but there's a similar message with this. Okay. But essentially the lion energy, because it is about claiming authority, power, confidence within yourself, the lion energy is helping you to dissolve fears, anxiety, doubt, and negativity. Okay? And those are things that you might be kind of holding within yourself, where you don't trust yourself. You don't trust your intuition. You don't trust your own ability to be able to create, to be able to manifest, to be able to make your dreams come true. Okay? We have trust your wings here, which is basically Spirit saying, trust yourself, have more faith, have more confidence in yourself and your abilities. Okay? So being that this energy here is resolving or dissolving, I'm saying, your fears, anxieties, doubts, and negative energy, this to me with this soothe energy here with the slippery elm is actually something you can use for your throat chakra. Okay? Maybe it is standing in your truth, speaking your power, right? Your voice of authority. Maybe you're finding your voice. Maybe you're speaking more confidently about yourself or about things that you want to achieve, and recognizing that you have the power within yourself. But either way, to me, this soothing energy is about soothing those fears, the anxieties, the doubts, the negative thinking, right? The self-limiting beliefs, the self-sabotaging thoughts or behaviors. So you gain the confidence to be able to take flight, in a sense, right? And we have this little top hat that has the little dandelions that are tied to it that are kind of like drifting away, right? And it says new directions here. So we are going to read the message with that, but we have she who persists, which means to me with the Queen of Wands energy, you don't give up, right? Even if there are challenges, even if there are obstacles, that you have this change of perspective here, that is helping you to feel more confident and persistent with your goals, with your dreams. Because you have two wish cards here, actually, the Nine of Cups and also the Star. The Star energy is about us being optimistic. It is about us having trust, having faith, having belief in ourselves and in our spirit team, in the universe, in God, Gaia, whatever deity you connect with, right? The universe, source, and that you start to have more faith, that you change from, say, more pessimistic way of thinking into confidence, optimism, having trust in yourself, having faith in where Spirit is guiding and leading you. So with the Chariot energy, the Chariot is a card of freedom. It is a card of power and willpower and determination, drive. It's like the driving force within us. Okay, I'm also noticing, oddly enough, she's got a snail here. She's got a snail, which are notoriously slow, right? Slow moving. But she put some wheels on that chariot. She put some wheels on that chariot's shell. So, you know what I'm saying? So some of you could be feeling like, I don't know, maybe you're very slow to do things, like in terms of like, I want to make this happen. I want to do this. I want to go for this. I want to go for that. So maybe it's time for you to put some wheels on your little snail shell there, right? You get some wheels on there and you go with your confidence, right? Trust your wings, trust your ability to move forward and move forward with confidence, okay? This is where we balance out both our feminine and our masculine energies, okay? We bring a beautiful, harmonious balance and union within those two energies. Feminine energy, we are using intuition, our creative energy, we are birthing something. And then with the masculine energy, we are in a place where we are making decisions. We are, creating strategy, planning, focus, discipline, organization, and stepping up and taking the lead to get things done. Okay, so it requires us to put both of those energies into balance with the Chariot so that we have this unstoppable force. Okay, so this is kind of what I'm seeing your spirit guides are helping you with. And you also have the Lovers energy here. The Lovers is that balance, masculine, feminine. Okay, masculine, feminine energy, bring it into union, the merging of those two energies to help you to become this unstoppable force. Okay, unstoppable force. The Lovers is also about spirit guiding us. Okay, this is a guided union within you, balancing and merging of your energies so that you then begin to follow what your heart's desires are and allow those things to be what leads you, what drives you. The Nine of Cups is also a card of fulfillment, abundance, feeling content, feeling gratitude, okay? Feeling gratitude. So, and I'm seeing with the new directions here, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like your spirit guides are trying to help you to really kind of, maybe for some of you, get out of a place of stagnancy, get out of a place of living in fear, of insecurity, of anxiety, of doubt, of negative thinking, and to help you to find your power and to go. Right? Don't be afraid of going to a new job. Don't be afraid of switching careers. Don't be afraid of, stepping up and becoming the authority and the leader of your own life. Okay? So with new directions here, this is from the Oracle of Mystical Moments. We'll see what this message also has. Okay, so we have departure, new perspectives, and also goodbyes. And it says, a dandelion is an airship traveling through the sky with a top hat as the basket these men are flying away in. One man jumps out of the basket and sails off on a flying dandelion seed. So we've got one of them right there, right? It's kind of like, in a sense, it's like taking the leap of faith, right? With that little dandelion there. It takes him far away while the other men wave goodbye and wish him well. This story illustrates endings and departures that are necessary to gain new perspectives in life. It takes courage to change directions and abandon old habits. But if you are bold enough, you can fly towards something new, a dream, a place, even yourself. Okay? So it's a really beautiful energy of you shifting away from, like I said, any of that energy that is taking your power or your confidence away, where you learn how to trust yourself, right? He gave complete trust into that little dandelion that it was going to lead him exactly to what his wish is, that he's wanting to create. And having that, because once that chariot gets going and once you get to really merge those two energies together, it is a very powerful energy. Imagine, right, in a traditional sense, that chariot is being led by horses. And the power that those horses have once they get going in that chariot, and imagine yourself standing in that little, I always want to call it a bucket, but like where the charioteer, if that's what you call them, stands in, right? And imagine that wind kind of blowing through your hair and you are standing there holding those reins of that chariot, and that being the speed and the power at which you are moving towards your goals, towards your dreams. Okay? So, of course, this, dissolving fears, anxiety, doubt, and negativity doesn't happen overnight. Okay? It takes a lot of work for us to be able to, maybe it takes inner child healing. Maybe it takes a shadow work. Maybe it is about us doing some deep introspection about how we are holding ourselves back, how we are self-sabotaging ourselves, how we are keeping ourselves stuck in a lack mentality or a lack mindset, or anything else that could be creating blockages there. Okay? So healing is something there. Healing the feminine energy, healing the masculine energy, and then being able to kind of, test yourself in little ways. Right? And I always tell clients, especially when I'm doing mentoring for clients, when they feel like that, trying little things around the house, right? Little things that you can start with. Like, let's just say you have a list of things that you want to do in the house, and then you have ideas that inspire you. You want to create a new space, and you're using all of that feminine creative energy to do that. Well, we need to tap into the masculine energy to go get it done, right? Maybe your feminine energy has thought about building some bookshelves and about having a nice space for something that you want to create in the home. That masculine energy has to step in to say, okay, how am I going to do this? Let's get organized. Let's create a list together. Let's, build the shelves. Let's think about how we're going to build the bookshelf. Let's think about how we're going to organize this into our schedule of other priorities that we have. So you kind of test yourself with those little things until you can get comfortable with moving into bigger things within your life, right? Changing jobs, changing careers, moving, restarting a career after you've not worked for a long time. So for those of you that could be like stay-at-home parents and you're going back into the workforce and you're just like, where do I even start? I feel scared. I feel afraid to get back out there. I feel like it's too late for me to follow my dreams. It's never too late. Okay? Never too late to change, to transform, to change our perspective. Okay? So this is what I'm seeing for you, is that your spirit guides are trying to help to soothe, right? Helping you to find balance and union within the self, and for you to start following your heart and feel confident that your heart and your intuition are going to lead you to wishes being fulfilled, to you, leading you to a life that you do feel happy, that you do feel content in, right? Content in, that you have the power to create that if only you trust, right? Trusting here, just like this little guy trusted that little dandelion. And sometimes that could mean, like this card is saying, letting go of certain things, right? Moving away. That's the big step. That's the big change. That's the scary part, right? Scary to make big changes like that. But we have to, just do it, right? Just do it. I don't know what else to say, pile 3. Just do it. Just go. Get in your chariot. Like I said, throw some wheels on that snail and get going with that power and that energy that you have, that I feel like your spirit guides are just like, you've got to get this, right? Let's step into your power here. Start trusting your wings to help you to fly towards those things that you really want to accomplish, and trust and have faith in yourself, right? And maybe, like I said, the gaining the confidence you don't just snap your fingers and it happens, right? We have to work on it little by little. Okay, little by little, we're working on these things and, finding out what is the root of the anxiety. Why is the anxiety there? Where is it coming from? Is it something from childhood? Is it something from a past, friendship that we had? Is it from a past family situation that we've gone through? Is it from grief? Is it from pain? Is it from sadness, resentment, anger? What is throwing us off balance? Right? And start there. Start writing down the things that still trigger you, that still make you feel afraid, and start kind of unpacking your stuff and going through it in a sense of letting go of those beliefs that are attached to that event or that trauma, and getting to work on healing those so that you can work towards finding ways of building up your self-esteem, building up your confidence, and how, like I said, acknowledging how your own thoughts or your own beliefs could be something that are sabotaging you. Okay, so let's go into pulling some more oracle messages here. Pile number 3. What are your spirit guides currently helping you with? We have illumination, okay? So that could be illuminating certain things maybe that need to change. Maybe it's illuminating your power, your confidence, certain new directions that your spirit guides are trying to lead you towards that offer opportunity for you. We have flow, okay? So helping you to get into the energy of the flow of the universe, right? So things start to come to you. You start to manifest, right, in the flow. Sometimes with those fears and insecurities, that throws us off balance, right? That is when we feel blocked. That is when nothing is going right. Nothing's happening. We feel stagnant. We feel stuck. We feel lost, okay? That's when we know we're out of alignment, okay? And there's something that needs to change. So we need to kind of dig deeper within the self, right? Are we holding on to something that we shouldn't? Are we in a relationship? Are we in a friendship? Are we at a job? where things are not flowing into us. We have to kind of identify where that is coming from. We also have inspiration here, right? Maybe leading you towards things that provide inspiration or trying to inspire you through. We also have acceptance here, okay? And I feel like more or less this is acceptance of things that you cannot change, right? Things that are outside of your control. It can also be accepting of, let's just say, a current situation that you're in, right? But then figuring out, how can I change this? How can I improve this? How can I make this better? Okay. Maybe for some of you, it is radical acceptance of things that you've lost, right? Especially for people that are trying to heal from past relationships, accepting of that. Okay. We have, look at that, relationships. Okay. So maybe helping to heal your relationships with others, strengthening the bonds that you have, you know, especially if your own fears or anxieties or negative energy that you have could be affecting your relationships, your friendships, your family situations, your romantic partnerships. Okay? Maybe improving the relationship with yourself. And then we have timing here. Okay? Timing being something that is very important, right? We have to know when. Just like this little guy here, he's like, I'm getting in this top hat with you. We're going sailing in the sky, and here's my stop. This is where I need to get off. This is where I need to go. Okay? So it's also paying attention to the timing of which you are doing things, because you can also miss opportunities, right? By not taking action because you're allowing those fears or worries to get in the way, and then you end up missing things. Okay? That could have, right, led to abundance or happiness or fulfillment or wishes and dreams coming true. So let's see what else. Pile number 3. What are your spirit guides currently helping you with? We have true love, and it says experiencing true love in your life, being in a loving long-term union of selfless and unconditional love. Okay? And another pile got this card here as well. So I feel like this is you learning how to love yourself so that you can accept and receive and even give love to others, right? By being able to kind of find that balance within the self. We also have tragedy here, and it says tragedy helps you find your purpose. Deep lessons that are concealed in these tragedies that some of you might have gone through, and helping others cope during tragedy. So some of you may even find that many of the things that you have gone through in your own life are something that you feel called to help with other people that could be going through that same thing. Let's just say if you're someone who has lost a spouse, you've lost a family member, you went through some type of really toxic situation in your family, you know, early on in life, during childhood, an experience that has been painful, that has been challenging, but that you are working on healing from. And once you come out the other side of that, you now have these tools that inspire you to, you know, pursue a degree in psychology or become a nurse, become a healer, become an art therapist, or, you know, a psychotherapist, or a mentor, a life coach, you know, that you are a social worker, you know, something that where you are taking this experience that you've gone through and turning it into your superpower. Okay. And I often find, especially when I'm doing soul's purpose readings for people, for clients with their private readings, that oftentimes many of the things that are our biggest hurdles, biggest challenges in life are ultimately what we're meant to do here. That is what our purpose is. Okay? We wouldn't be going through it for just no reason. There's a reason why we are being tested, why we go through these painful things. So many of you, through these experiences you go through, can help you to find what your purpose is. Maybe for some of you, it's working with children, you know, working with children who are growing up in homes that are not so great. Okay? So whatever that tragedy might be for you, this is where you're finding your purpose from that, out of that. Okay? Trying to help you through that. Maybe for some of you that have gone through certain tragedies, it's like you're it's trying to soothe you, right? Trying to heal. Maybe even for some of you, that's where the fears come from. That's where the anxiety comes from, is going through that. Okay? So pile number 3. Okay, so we have life path 1. So some of you could be life path 1, but the keywords here, a trailblazer. They're trying to help you become a trailblazer, a leader, a pioneer, a risk taker. You do better working on your own. And it says a true romantic deep in your heart. Okay? So to me, this is also about you being independent, right? Not being codependent on another person for your happiness or for your success or for abundance or for anything, but you to stand on your own. Okay? Autonomy. Pile number 3. What are your spirit guides helping you with? Building a legacy. Look at that. Achieving great things and abundance. Your purpose is to leave a legacy, living the highest quality of life. Okay? So empowering you to create maybe that abundance within your lifetime that you are able to leave a legacy behind for your family, right? Future generations. Let's get one last card for you. Oh, we have 2. We have life balance, balancing different elements in life, work hard and play hard type of mentality, and achieving it all in perfect balance. Okay? And then you have your last card here, life path 6. Caring, loving, loyal, understanding, good at motivating others, a strong desire to love and be loved. And first we have to find and love ourselves, right? We cannot give from an empty cup. We have to learn how to love ourselves. Good at motivating others. Maybe some of you are meant to be some kind of leaders, maybe having your own business, inspiring others, motivating others, helping people to move past tragedy, trauma, and not be something that completely derails life. Okay? So I'm going to leave this here for you. Pile number 3. I do hope that this was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next reading.